Good morning, everybody. It is day 9 of the suffering. It is Tuesday of week 2. Just woke up, like always. Been awake for maybe 5 minutes, if that. Get in here and get my cardio in. I went to bed last night around 9:30, so a little groggy this morning. Oh, it wasn't hard waking up or getting out of bed, just a little groggy. Just gotta shake it off. That's pretty normal waking up being like this. So, okay, let me get my cardio in. So, something interesting happened this morning while I was doing cardio. I got hungry. I never experience hunger in the mornings ever. So, this morning is the first morning. I cannot tell you how long that I'm actually hungry. Like, I don't ever get hungry in the mornings, ever. So, for me to be able to wake up and then within like 20 minutes of being awake experience like hunger, that is something out the normal. So that tells me that my metabolism is picking up and I am actually on the right track for being hungry in the morning, because that never happens ever. So that's pretty exciting that I'm actually experiencing that in the mornings. I know most people are like, wait. Why would you want to be hungry? Being hungry sucks, and that makes it difficult. And that's whenever it becomes challenging. It does make it challenging. You're right. It does make it challenging, and it is the miserable part of the diet, at least during the nighttime for me. So when I'm hungry at night, it's pretty horrible because I'm a nighttime eater and I'm a nighttime snacker. So I like being up at night. I like being up late, and I like eating in the evening times, and I like snacking in the evenings. So to be hungry in the evenings only really sucks because it makes it hard to eat during the day. But when I'm hungry in the mornings, that makes it a lot easier to eat my chicken and rice when the time comes around, because that means I'm going to actually be hungry whenever I need to eat my incredibly dry chicken and bland meals. So that's why I'm excited about being hungry in the morning, because I will actually have an easier time eating during the day. And that's the way I look at it. I don't really know if there's any other way to look at it, but when you're eating food that's bland and not good, like, well, it don't taste bad. I mean, the brown rice isn't that bad, and the chicken tastes like chicken, but it's the dryness of the meal and it's the texture of the meat that makes it so bad. So when you're eating food that you're not palating well and you're not really enjoying for like flavor and texture, the hungrier you are, the easier it is to eat for sure. No question about it. No question about it. Also, my body weight is kind of stalling. It's not really moving anymore like it was. So that's good to know that it was about 11 pounds of water weight the first week. So now the body weight is slowing down dramatically. We'll actually get to see how much weight I'm actually losing now this week and next week and here on out, because it's not like a huge massive flux of water weight. So once that first week is out the way, body calms down. But normally I lose about like 4 to 6 pounds in the first week. So losing pretty much 11 pounds in the first week was crazy fast and crazy extreme. I knew it was going to come down quick the first week. I just didn't anticipate it coming down that fast. But like I said, it's slowed down, it's stalled out, so my body's regulated the water according to the amount of sodium and food that I'm getting. So now I just have to be consistent with it and make sure I don't do something I'm not supposed to do, so I don't have a huge influx of water or whatever, inflammation or anything else. And the thing too is I always feel bloated in the mornings. Even though I only eat egg whites for dinner and I wake up and do cardio, I always feel bloated. I'm guessing it's just all the fiber from the brown rice and the oatmeal from breakfast during the day. That leaves my stomach feeling a little distended and pushed out and bloated in the mornings. But for some reason, in the mornings, I always feel bloated. Always feel like my stomach's just like, ugh, like just distended and bloated. Like there's nothing I do that makes me kind of like, oh, okay, this is why. Except for maybe eating the brown rice. That's the only thing. It's just maybe I bloat during the night from it or something, or it has a harder time moving through my intestinal tract. So at nighttime is whenever it kind of manifests. But again, I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I'm just a dumb meathead who likes to work out and enjoys lifting weights and wants to look good for summer and winter and spring and fall. And my wife. I just want to look good. Okay, so this is cooked to perfection right here. We got our delicious bland egg whites and our awesome oatmeal cooked to perfection. So I am going to go ahead and end the video. Well, I'm going to go ahead and turn the video off right here because it's already 6 o'clock, so I can eat this meal. 9 o'clock, chicken and rice every day, no days off. I am so hungry today. This is so abnormal. I woke up this morning and while doing cardio, I was hungry, which, as you guys know that watch the videos, that's not a common thing for me to have any type of morning hunger. And then after I got done eating, I was satisfied for maybe 10 minutes, and then the hunger just came right back. So I have been hungry maybe about 10-15 minutes after waking up. I've been hungry all day so far, which is great because I got this terrible meal I'm about to have to choke down, and this chicken is just so dry, as you guys know that watch the videos. But it's okay because I'm actually hungry enough where it actually sounds pretty good, or I'm actually looking forward to it. I know I could be like, oh, but what about like Chinese food or pizza or barbecue or ribs or, you know, cereal or pancakes and bacon, but honestly, yeah, that stuff would just hurt my stomach at this point because this is day 9. So since this is day 9 of the suffering, my stomach has already adapted to the brown rice. It's adapted to the oatmeal. I mean, I get a little bit of bloating overnight, like I said earlier, but that also, that I'm thinking about it, might be the protein shake. I might just cause overnight bloating with that protein shake, but it's fine because it doesn't hurt my stomach. So if I ate any of those foods right now, I'd probably 30 minutes, maybe 2 hours, I'd be having a really, really bad stomach ache. So those type of foods right now don't appeal to me because I don't want to have stomach issues and stomach cramps and diarrhea and everything else. My bowel movements are really good right now. They're like clockwork. So like I have a bowel movement timing. I have good bowel movements. I don't have any stomach issues. I don't have any heartburn. I don't have any issues at all. So I don't want to cause myself to have issues by eating something else just because I'm hungry. So right now, with how hungry I am, believe it or not, I'm actually really looking forward to this meal, and I'm excited for it because I just don't want to feel hungry anymore. And to be honest, I'm not even having any cravings, and that's the thing. Monday through Friday is easy for me because I'm not around any other foods. So I don't smell other foods. I'm not around them. I don't see them. So I don't have the same temptation like I do on the weekends. And like I said, this weekend was hard. It was really, really hard this weekend. I had a hard time. But Monday through Friday, it's cakewalk. That meal was all right. Was not bad at all. So yesterday, whenever I went to go cook my rice, I put my 8 ounces, I put my olive oil, I put my 4 cups of water, and turned my rice cooker on, but there was a thunderstorm yesterday, and it was raining so bad. It was such a horrible storm that the power flickered a couple times, and I think I turned my rice cooker off halfway through. So when I came back in from working out, it was done. But when I opened it up, the rice wasn't really cooked right. There was still a bit of water and the volume was different. So I don't know, it's kind of gritty, but there's more volume. It's weird. It wasn't cooked right. It's not that great today. The rice is pretty awful. My wife told me just throw that out and remake it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna waste the rice. So it'll be edible. And it's kind of really chalky today. It is not is not my favorite, but it's edible, and I'm eating it, and gritty or not, I'm eating it. I'm hoping it doesn't doesn't wreck my stomach, which I don't think it will. I don't think it will, because it's pretty fluffed up. It's just there's some spots that are just kind of a little tough. So tonight, if that happens again, which I don't see why, because it's pretty sky. So if it wasn't the power flickering and it happened just to be the rice cooker itself was messed up, then I'll look at either getting a different rice cooker or going back to cooking it on the stove. But it's like always something, right? It's either the rice is getting messed up and it's not being consistent, or the chicken is too dry and overboiled it. And it's like, can you even overboil chicken? If you're boiling chicken in water, obviously. So if you put your chicken in water and you're boiling it in something wet, and it's pulling all the fat out of the chicken and all the sodium, could you overcook chicken in water? I don't know if you can, because last time I boiled chicken, it wasn't so bad. But this time, because I boiled it for the week, but this time it's terrible. It's more dry than it was last week. So I'm gonna try to boil it for a little bit less time, or maybe on a lower setting, and see if that makes a difference or not. But you figure, how can you burn something that's being cooked in water? But I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this walk up. It's a beautiful day. The temperature's down, the wind's blowing. It's just a gorgeous day, so it's really enjoyable walking. I'll see you guys at lunch. The hopes and expectations of my hunger sticking around all day to make my food easier to eat was short-lived. So my first meal, hungry afterwards. My second meal, not so hungry afterwards. So I ate my first chicken and rice meal, and I haven't had any hunger since. Which is a little disappointing, because it's going to make this meal a little bit harder to eat. Not impossible, just a little bit more difficult. I do enjoy the results that comes from this food, but it is a challenge getting it down. It is definitely work. Not work like, oh, I'm putting in my 9 to 5, but it's work chewing it. Yesterday I was chewing this chicken so hard trying to get it broken up, I zoned out, and I actually pushed my tongue into my teeth's path of chewing, and I bit down on my tongue so hard I thought I bit like a chunk out of it. A big black bruise on the back of my tongue. It hurts so bad to chew, it hurts so bad to swallow because of that when the food rubs against it. So it'll probably be another 2 days before that stops hurting, and that's how much force I was putting into this chicken, and then zoning out just trying to get through it. Just was not a good combination. So don't bite your tongue when you're chewing this chicken, because you'll be amazed at how much force you're using when you're chewing this chicken. But other than that, everything so far is going good, man. I'm happy with the results and the progress so far. Everything's going great. I had someone leave me a comment telling me that red meat is better than chicken, and yolks are better than the egg whites. And normally I would be eating red meat. I normally eat red meat about 3 to 5 times a day, roughly. And when I do eggs, I normally do the whole eggs, because I much prefer the whole egg. That just tastes better, but I know all the nutrients is in the yolk, not in the egg white. But the whole purpose for this is I'm trying to get as much protein as I possibly can with the least amount of calories. And egg whites and chicken breast is far superior, having lower calories with greater amounts of protein than red meat, because red meat you have a lot more fat and a lot more calories. So boiling the chicken gets all the excess amount of fat and sodium and out of it, and just leaves you with just straight up chicken breast. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is this maintainable? No. Is this sustainable for a long period of time? No, probably not. I think that you could probably do this 5 days a week, but on the weekends, like doing this hardcore, and I'm generalizing for me. So for me, I think this is doable for 90 days straight without stopping. But for the long run, the rest of your life, absolutely not. No diet. No one is going to eat the same food at the same time, the same days, the same meals for the rest of their life and never eat nothing else. I don't care. The most extreme vegans, carnivores, you name it, bodybuilders, you're just not going to do it. So just not chuck that idea out the window. I think this is very reasonable to do Monday through Friday for me after I stop this hard cut and I get my results. I do believe I can maintain this Monday through Friday, no problem at all, and then enjoy the weekends with my family and be able to go out to eat and go out on dates and do stuff with my kids. I don't see where I would gain any weight back because he made a comment saying that losing the weight fast, you're going to gain it back just as fast or whatever. But like you're not. I mean, if you go back to eating how you were, and he made the comment saying when you go back to eating normal, but normal for me isn't normal for everybody else. Like what someone else gets up and maybe eats like I don't know, a Pop Tart and then goes to fast food for lunch and then finds whatever restaurant or fast food restaurant or cooks whatever they feel like eating that night for dinner. That's not my lifestyle Monday through Friday. For many years, like it's Monday through Friday. I have a structured diet. I have a structured meal. I don't like eating out. I don't like eating fast food daily. I just don't enjoy it. I don't drink soda. I'm not a big sweet person. I don't eat a whole lot of sweets. I prefer salty foods over sweet foods. Hence why my blood pressure elevated and now my blood pressure is back to normal since I cut all that out of my diet. So for me, after 3 months, I can very much so see myself eating these meals Monday through Friday to keep my blood pressure in check and to keep my weight under control, to keep me where I want to be with how lean I'm trying to get. Would I change back to red meat? Yeah, probably for some meals. Would I be so strict as to be like, okay, well, I'm only going to ever do egg whites for dinner? No, probably not. I'd probably change that protein out for something else and add some vegetables in, maybe with some butter. But that's later down the road in a maintenance phase and or a bulking phase. But as far as it goes for this, I'm trying to get to point A to point B as fast as humanly possible with no speed bumps or no detours. So this is the fastest way to do this. So this is how I'm wanting to do it. Maintainable for the rest of my life? No. Doable 4 or 5 days a week? Yeah, absolutely. Enjoying the weekends? Yeah, sure. Will that keep my body weight where it wants to be, where I want to be? Absolutely. So take it for what it's worth. I'm not saying everyone should be like me or do like me or this is the right way or the wrong way. This is just the way I'm doing it and the way I'm getting my results. So for those of you who are following along, I appreciate it. For those of you who want to do it with me, that's great. For those of you who just are like, yeah, nah, dude, that's not for me and there's no way you're going to do it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys too and just keep on checking me out. But I'm going to get this meal in. And I'll see you guys in the gym at 4 o'clock because it's only noon right now. Well, we finally made it back to the gym. So here it is, day 9 of the Suffering Tuesday. This is our first arm and shoulder night of our new routine. Just like the other stuff, we're going to be doing, well, not really. We're going to do 3 movements for triceps, 3 movements for biceps. And we're going to be doing 4 sets of each movement, 8 to 12 reps. And on the last set, we're going to slow it down and really get at it. Just like we did yesterday's workout with chest and back. There are 2 different routines, and I like to switch it up a little bit. I don't think you need a massive amount of variety to get good results, but it's just nice having a little bit of variety in there for different movements because it does feel different on the muscle. It also feels different on the joint. But overall, as long as you're putting effort into the movement you're doing, that's all that matters. I could have definitely got more than 12, but I'm not trying to go to failure. I'm not trying to annihilate the muscle, but next week I'm going to write this down. So next week I'll go up in weight. I'll go from the 20s to the 25s in my top set. Make it a little bit more difficult so I find that sweet spot where I'm getting 12 reps and I'm able to get 12, but maybe 1 or 2 reps past that and it'll be pretty much it. So I want to get 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. I don't want to hit failure, but I want to get close to it, but in a nice, slow, controlled manner. I don't want to overdo it and crush it to the point where my elbows hurt and my muscles can't recover. Feeling pretty good today. I feel a lot better than I did yesterday. Yesterday, I didn't really have any energy. I was kind of worn out. If y'all watch the video, y'all know how I was feeling. So, but I'm not saying I have more energy today than I did yesterday, but I definitely feel better today than I did. So that counts for something. I'm not dreading being in here, but we'll see if my energy levels pick up like they did yesterday. Because yesterday I started feeling really good after my first movement. This is my second movement here, but it's going a lot faster because it's triceps. It's just back to back to back to back to back. But I am feeling better. Hopefully my rice doesn't mess up cooking it tonight, so tomorrow it's a lot more enjoyable. Okay, this is my top set right here. I'm going to do these nice and slow and controlled. The goal is 8 to 12 reps. Let's see if we can get all 12 right where we want it to be. Okay, that felt good. Probably could have got about another 5 or 6. So it definitely went lighter. This is also one of those movements that kind of does feel like it puts some pressure on the elbow. So I could put the pulley lower and come more overhead like this, but the problem is my shoulder. I'm limited because I actually wanted to do overhead dumbbells. I want to do overhead dumbbells, but I can't get my shoulder in that position without it hurting. So I substituted out for these right here, which allows me to be able to still get in a position here at least, because I can't get my arm quite back like how I want to because it's still healing up. Working on that mobility, but might be able to get there. So far, triceps feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty pumped. We got one more movement of triceps, and then we're moving on to biceps. With this training program, you're not going to be see me doing anything crazy or hardcore or extreme. It's pretty basic lifting with this. Just doing 3 straight sets. And the last set is just controlled negatives with a hard contraction. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to blast the muscle to annihilation where I can't recover. I'm trying to hold on to as much muscle mass as I can while burning as much fat as I can. So this isn't going to be some crazy, super extreme, magical program like, oh, this is the magic program, the thing that I've never knew, and this is it. This is what's going to unlock all my gains, and this is what's going to take me to the next level. You can make massive results on this type of program. You can make great results. You can also make no results in this program. It just depends on where you are in your training, what your goals are, what you're trying to do, and what you're after, and how much you're applying yourself to the program. So it's just a very basic, simple, standard routine. Nothing crazy about it. But it doesn't take something crazy to be able to grow and get stronger and get better. It just takes you applying yourself to that movement and giving it effort. And that's what's going to get you results. That's the secret to your next, like, breaking your next plateau, is just putting in the effort and the right amount of effort. Don't go too much, don't go too little. You got to find what you can recover from. That's the most important thing. You have to find what you can recover from, because if you can recover from it, that means that you can grow and get stronger. But if you can't recover from it, you're doing too much. If you can go every single day the same muscle group, you're not going hard enough. Probably could have got about 5 or 6 more of those, which is fine. It was a good set, but now I know next week do definitely need to go heavier. For being in a deficit and doing cardio twice a day, I still feel like I'm achieving a pretty decent pump. Like yesterday when I worked up my back and my chest, I felt like I got a really good pump. And even today, working my triceps out, I feel like I got a pump. And this is my first movement on biceps, and I can feel my biceps already swelling up, which is great. So even though I'm on a calorie deficit and I'm restricted, I'm still pumping up. And it could be the creatine and the glutamine and beta-alanine and all that stuff. I mean, very much so it could be those are assisting and aiding me with my pump. And then it also could just very much so be the fact that the brown rice and the oatmeal is enough carbohydrates to be able to help me obtain um, muscle fullness with glycogen and glucose in the muscle cell that allows me to obtain a pump, because my veins are still still popping out pretty good, and I figured they would have been tucked up and gone by now, but they're not. So this is my top set on this. I do straight bar curls. I can talk about my form if y'all want. I don't care. Everybody has their style. Find what you feel it the most in your biceps, and that's going to be your form. I don't care who says what. If you feel it in your biceps, it's a good form for you. If you try someone else's form and you don't feel it in your biceps, chances are it's not the form for you. Our rest periods are like a minute or so, 45 seconds to a minute on set 1, 2, and 3, and then our top set. I like to rest about 2 to 3 minutes. That way I can make sure that I'm fully ready to go again. I know I've said this on every single video for my workout videos, but for new subscribers or new viewers that haven't subscribed to the channel and they're just kind of checking it out, just want to let you guys know, for those of you who are curious. Okay, next set's my top set of hammer curls. I'm going to go for 12. On the hammer curl, if you guys want to build up the forearm strength and the grip strength, don't grab it on the dumbbell with your hand right under it. Grab the bottom of the handle and don't let it slide up to your hand. And that'll build up your grip strength because you have to like really squeeze that dumbbell to keep it from sliding up. So that's what I've always done whenever I needed additional grip strength. And it's always worked out really well for me. If you haven't tried it, just give it a try and see what you think about it. This will be my top set of shoulder press after Richard. Notice how slow and controlled he's doing it. So me and him both have shoulder issues. He has impingement in his left shoulder. I have impingement in my left shoulder, but I don't know if it's impingement or just from what I did to it back in February when I changed that tire out. It hurts real bad. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to shoulder press, but it does bug my shoulder, not to the point where it's like a sharp stabbing, grinding pain. It's uncomfortable, and there is a little bit of grittiness in there, but I think it's just because of the amount of scar tissue that built up in there from whenever I hurt it is causing it to have that impingement where it's not going to be able to freely move through the range. So I'm going to start lighter on the 17-pound dumbbells, the 17 and a halves, and I'm going to go for a set of 12. Now this is going to be my fourth set of 12 with the 17s because I'm not trying to do this movement to put a whole lot of weight over my head. I'm just trying to get a full range of motion. I'm trying to get my scapulus pulled back and my thoracic expansion correct, so that way it doesn't affect me and it doesn't put my shoulders in the bad position no more, and it helps my impingement. After shoulder press, we have moved on to side laterals. This is the top set. This right here, I am going a little bit slower on the reps, but my top set, I'm going to hold at the top position, do a nice, slow, controlled negative, and just try to get a nice, good pump on the shoulders, trying to help round them out and build some good caps on them. My shoulder routine's been pretty consistent and simple over the years. Side laterals, front laterals, bent over laterals, or shoulder press, and reverse flies or whatever with side laterals. But pretty simple way to build the shoulders. There's not really like a whole lot you need to do for them to build them up because they get a lot of indirect work from chest and back. You just kind of got to give them a little bit of extra blood flow, a little bit of extra stimulus, and then all your other training typically will be enough to help them grow. At least for me, I've been fortunate in that aspect. Now, one thing about shoulder training, I don't like to go too heavy on side laterals and a lot of movements. So if I feel like I just did 15s for 12, the heaviest I'll probably go on the side laterals maybe 25 pounds. And if I can get 25 pounds for 12 reps, I won't keep going up in weight. I just don't see the value in it. What I'll do is I'll increase reps. I'll start trying to do sets of 20 and then build up to 25s for sets of 20. And then get to the point where I can do 5 sets of 20 with the 25s. I don't really know how much more stimulus you need other than that with doing shoulder press, side laterals, bent over laterals, or reverse pec deck, or reverse cable flies, doing your chest movements, your back movements. All that involves a whole lot of shoulder too. So maybe there's guys out there that need more work or less work than myself, but again, I'm speaking directly for myself. That's what I've noticed for me as far as it goes for my shoulder training. So I got one more movement to do, and then it's on to cardio. You might be thinking, man, this isn't really that hardcore of a routine, and it's not that extreme, and man, you're not doing no supersets or drop sets or rest pause or anything crazy or lifting a massive amount of weight. It's kind of a boring routine, and you'd be right. It is kind of a boring routine, but the kicker is your output has to match your intake. So me doing cardio twice a day, eating chicken, boiled chicken breast and brown rice and egg whites, my calories are low, my fat is low, my energy output is high. So my energy intake from my carbohydrates and fats, well, from carbohydrates are modest, and then my fat is low. So I don't have as much calories to burn for energy. So my output has to match my intake. So in order for me to have a workout routine that I'm going to be able to do and be capable of performing week in and week out and making progress on, has to be a very basic, very simple routine in order for me to have the energy to do my cardio and have the output that I need to be able to continue to push forward in the gym. If I'm doing all these crazy things like supersets and drop sets and rest pause and all these crazy things, I'm going to be pushing out too much energy and too much effort. I'm not going to be able to recover from that, which is going to make my very simple routine very hard to do. So if I don't add those in and I'm just doing straight sets and stopping 1 to 3 reps shy of failure, I can recover from that, and I'll be able to make progress on that, and I'll be able to continue to do this for week after week after week, as long as my cut continues until my cut is over with. So here's my last exercise. This is my last set. This is my top set. Shoulders. I'm just going to simply do some reverse cable flies. At the end of the day, we're trying to stimulate the muscle to maintain its size and or possibly grow. We don't want to push it too much where it starts going backwards. Now, if I was in a calorie surplus, I wasn't doing cardio twice a day, and I was eating a whole lot of food, then that wouldn't be a concern. I would be doing reps with body English. I would be doing forced reps and drop sets and negatives and rest pause and all these other crazy things to push myself past the point of failure if I had the resources I was taking in to be able to recover from those movements and continue to progress. But I don't. So like I said, very simple approach for a whole lot of success in the gym and also outside the gym. And what you're doing outside the gym is equally as important what you're doing inside the gym, because it's not one or the other, it's both. If one stops caring, the other will fail. It goes hand in hand. So I'm going to end the video right here, guys. This is day 9, week 2 of the suffering. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.